Matt Frey joins us in studio. All-Stars Academy hitting instructor and the man who a lot of players, high school players in the Capital Region turn to, and a lot of teams turn to. You've had, my heavens, Matt, you've had a busy winter too, and now a busy March, right? With the weather, you've had so many players and teams, and everybody still needing to get indoors to get their training in.
Yes, we did. How we doing, Raj?
Good, man. Good to see you again.
Yeah,
it's like old hat to you, though, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Another trip to the radio
10th
station.
year doing this.
So you've had busy winter?
Absolutely, yeah. Actually, yesterday the batting cages were packed. I mean, we're lucky that it's been still snow on the ground, so we can stay busy. But guys are ready to get out there. I'm ready to get out there. Unfortunately, I'm staying inside this year, so not coaching at Boston Spa. Sticking with All-Stars all year, so that's so I'm in for another 2 months regardless. So.
What have you seen, Matt, with teams that have come in and players? And it seems to me with the bigger schools, I keep hearing Colony, this could be a big season for Colony. And the last time they won a Section 2 championship, it's been quite a while. That maybe because of their pitching, they may be sitting on a big season. Yeah,
and I thought they would be the team to beat last year, but with Ryan Lambert getting hurt, they had a tough go of it. They were still very competitive. Last year, I said the season was wide open because there was a big turnaround in Section 2 in the Suburban Council specifically. Now all the best teams out of the top 5 teams last year, Bethlehem, Saratoga, CBA, and Shen. Well, Shen wasn't a top 5, and Colony. They're all returning their main players. So there's 5 teams that are really, really loaded with talent, a lot of college baseball talent. But Colony, I would say, has the most. They have they have a lot of pitching experience, the guys that have been up there for 2 or 3 years, and that means a lot of Sal Fusco is one of the best pitchers in the area, throws very, very hard, a really good slider. Spencer Wall, who's a lefty, he's been on varsity for 3 years. He threw against us at Boston Spa last year, and he's a competitor on the mound. He's very good, keeps guys off balance. He's one of the guys that you'd want on the mound for you. And they have 3. They have Nathan Toms, who's
Nathan Toms is really good. And Lambert is really good.
Lambert's very, very good. So they have a lot of college baseball talent on the team, and then they have the 3 hitters with Toms, McGee, and Krasinski that are all going to Siena. So them, and I would say CBA returns the most, the most college baseball talent, and so my early favorite is both of Colony and CBA. Colony,
CBA, and the Suburban.
What about a kid like Danny Watson? I know he's getting some looks, and I know AD's getting some calls. Where is he on a talent level at Columbia, Matt, from what you've seen?
Oh, Danny,
or heard?
Yeah, Danny's as good as it gets in this area. He throws very hard, has a plus slider. He, as far as I know, my stepfather is a regional scout, or not a national cross checker. And he's heard some things on him too. You're not going to want to face Danny Watson on the mound. They have a lot of turnover, but Columbia should be competitive too. It's just going to be a very, very deep Suburban Council this year. But
are we behind on the schedule already because of the weather and the snow? And then, as you project forward, if your answer to that first part is yes, how difficult is that? Then we're talking about all these arms, but we know the new rules in high school baseball, and if you're going to play 3-4 times a week, I would imagine it makes it really challenging for a manager.
Yeah, we're not behind yet. Scrimmages, okay. Maryland trips have been canceled, but I'm not too optimistic that that's going to start on time next week. I hope it does. Next week is the official week for that. That's when the regular season starts, Suburban Council. Yeah, but to answer your next question, it's very difficult as a manager. You have to have 3 go-to starters, and that's what separates some of the top 5 teams is they have 2-3 guys that are coming back and were significant starters last year. The 1s and the 2s are coming back for schools like CBA or Saratoga or Colony. But as far as the number 1 standpoint goes, the number 1 pitcher, absolutely, Danny Watson is amazing.
What do you like the new pitching rules that are in effect for high school?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, it's if you don't have three pitchers as a coach, obviously you don't like it as much. But you especially now in the winter, guys are taking more time off throwing in the winter, so it takes a little longer to get up to that 90 pitch standpoint. So I like it to save arms and to preserve their futures. Then I think it's a good rule.
Matt Frey, who trains a lot of the high school players and teams here in the Capital Region with All Stars Academy in Latham, phenomenal indoor facility. Matt, how about teams that are going to be able to hit the ball this year? I mean, we talk about the pitching. Who have you seen that you go, you know what, really good hitter, watch out for this kid, or a couple of kids in the area that you think have big years at the plate?
Yeah, there's a lot of hitting too. There's the talent is there's a lot of depth throughout.
And I love Section 2 every year. I think Section 2 baseball continues to just get bigger and better every year.
Does.
I mean, there is so many kids that are playing at that next level, that D1 level, coming from Section 2.
Absolutely. I mean, even 10 years ago, 12 years ago now, when I played, you had maybe 10 guys going Division I and Division 2 and 3. But now the amount of looks that we're getting at big schools, you look at Albany Academy and. One of your guys' Player of the Year, Levac and Gaza's Player of the Week last year, Brett Young. He's going to Virginia Commonwealth, and Brett is a third baseman that's 6 foot, 180 pounds, and so typically you wouldn't a big school wouldn't come up and look. They would probably get a shortstop and put him over third, but Brett is so good at his position and he hits the heck out of the ball that he's so projectable. And I thought. Last year, before he signed with Virginia Commonwealth, he could play anywhere in the country, and he's really that talented. Albany Academy could compete very well in the Suburban Council. They're in Myrtle right now. They just won their first game. They have him, Brett Young. They have Johnny Decker, who's going to Stony Brook. They have a catcher in Mosier that's getting a lot of big Division I looks. He's only a junior, and they have Ben Seiler, who's a pitcher that's going to Siena. So they'll be really tough. Other hitters in the area, I mentioned Colony CBA. Nick Malillo is Siena. Coach Rossi did an amazing job recruiting this upcoming year from this area. He's got a lot of talent coming in. Bethlehem has got a lot of their guys coming back. Most of their guys coming back. They have Arlo Marinzak, who's going to Siena pitching. Colby Nash, who's going to Union, David Montalto. So there's hitters all over. It's more than ever, I would make a point, if you're a baseball fan, to go and watch some of these games, because you might see a future MLB guy.
How much do you keep up with the guys who are in the minor leagues beyond here, or high-level Division I players? Do you keep tabs on some of those guys and notice what they are or aren't doing? Obviously, I'm alluding to guys like Ian Anderson and Garrett Whitley, well, his name is escaping me now, from Maple Hill, Jamie Schultz. Jamie Schultz is really close to making it with the Rays now.
Yeah, it's awesome to see. And we're lucky enough at All-Stars. This past year we didn't have them because they were busy. They were playing winter ball. But Ian came back and did our pitching groups, worked with our kids, and the kids got a lot out of it. And Garrett Whitley has came back quite often. He's really good with the kids. So I try to keep in touch with them. JP Sportman worked with us 2 years ago. So, yeah, I try to keep in touch and keep tabs on them and root for them. They're they're really close. And
Matt Gage is another name that is ascending in the Giants organization as well.
Yeah.
And then I just got a text here asking about Anthony Germanario going to the University of Albany
from LaSalle.
Yeah. 6'4", 200-pound, 215-pound Division I kid.
Yeah,
monster.
Yeah. There's I feel bad because obviously there's a lot of good players out there, and what I see is the Suburban Council from coaching there for 4 years, and guys that come and work with us, and I know some other guys for big names, so I hate to leave them out, but I know Germanario is a very good player. LaSalle actually beat us in sectionals last year, so they're very good. He's very good. LaSalle's going to be pretty good coming back too.
Now Niski won it last year, right over Shen. But you talk about Colony CBA, but this Is it somewhat wide open, or we would just say Colony has the slight edge?
It's wide open with these 5, I believe. We got
Colony, CBA,
CBA, Bethlehem, Saratoga, and Shen. And I would have to throw in Niski and my Ballston Spa boys also in the next 2. So, I mean, that's seven teams. That's pretty wide open. But those top 5 are going to be really, really tough. But it's all how they gel together and play together. That makes a huge difference. But with these guys, those 5 schools, these guys have been playing together for years. They played together last year, the ups and the downs. Shen, did not have, the most talent. They were young last year, and they came together at the right time, made it to the championship game. So, that's Shen for you. They were young, but these guys not only played together from a young age, but they've won together at a young age, and that's a big hump to get over. Teams that, other schools that maybe haven't won in basketball, baseball, and Little League, winning all the time, is contagious just as losing is.
It's always Shannon. It's always Shannon's always in there.
I was going to say we can break this down however you want. You're just going Shannon. I'm going to say it's pitching. It's going to come down to pitching.
Yeah, and that's why I think
at the end of the year.
That's why I think this could be a good season for Colony because of the pitching.
Yeah, they have a ton of depth, ton of experience. 3 frontline starters. They just got to score some runs. And last year they had the pitching too. They just didn't scratch enough runs together. This year they have more experience. They have those three guys that can absolutely stroke. So they'll have a really big top of the lineup.
And by the way, I misspoke here. Germanario, not at LaSalle, at Averill Park.
Oh, okay. That's
Averill
my
Park
fault,
for
then.
Germanario.
Yeah.
That was on me. So before I let you go, Matt, and we get the high school season rolling, what's your thoughts on the MLB with every team getting ready to roll tomorrow? Who do you like?
I'm a Yankees fan.
You Yankee fan? Is there any reason to think they're not going to have a 95 win season?
I can't think that. No, I was at the ALCS last year, and it was very electric watching those guys play. I was at the home game. And their hitting lineup's going to be unbelievable. I'm a little worried about their pitching, but, I mean, if they score 10 runs a game, I think they'll be all right.
and they might just be able to do that. Matt, keep up the great work. We'll do this again once we get, a little bit into the season, which begins next week, and we'll get a little update. And then I know how quickly this baseball season goes by once we get started.
Okay, yeah. Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it. That is Matt Frey from All Stars Academy. Trains a lot of players and a lot of teams, and we are ready to roll with the high school baseball season next week.